Looted art has been a consequence of looting during war, natural disaster and riot for centuries. Looting of art, archaeology and other cultural property may be an opportunistic criminal act or may be a more organized case of unlawful or unethical pillage by the victor of a conflict. The term looted art reflects bias, and whether particular art has been taken legally or illegally is often the subject of conflicting laws and subjective interpretations of governments and people. Use of the term looted art in reference to a particular art object implies that the art was taken illegally. Related terms include art theft, illicit antiquities, provenance, and art repatriation. History. Art looting has a long history, the winning party of armed conflicts often plundering the loser, and in the absence of social order, the local population often joining in. The contents of nearly all the tombs of the pharaohs were already completely looted by grave robbers before the invasion of Egypt by Alexander the Great in 332 BCE. There have been a total of 7 sackings of Rome. The Old Testament includes several references to looting and to the looting of art and treasures. In the Book of Chronicles it is said, King Shishak of Egypt attacked Jerusalem and took away the treasures of the Lord's temple and of the royal palace. He took everything, including the gold shields that Solomon had made. And in the book of Jeremiah chapter 15 verse 11 the Lord says, Jerusalem, I will surely send you away for your own good. I will surely bring the enemy upon you in a time of trouble and distress. I will give away your wealth and your treasures as plunder. I will give it away free of charge for the sins you have committed throughout your land. Quote. Other famous examples include the Roman sack of Corinth in 146 BC, the sack of Constantinople by the Fourth Crusade, the sack of Baghdad in 1258, Hernán Cortés, and the looting of the Aztec gold. In only some of these was the removal of artworks for their own sake a primary motivation. Since the rise of an art market for monumental sculpture, abandoned monuments all over the world have been at risk, notably in Iran, the old territories of Mesoamerican culture, and Cambodia. After the looting of Europe by Napoleon, others copied the institutionalized model of systematic plunder and looting. During the American Civil War, legal frameworks and guidelines emerged that justified and legalized the plunder and looting of opposing parties and nations. Henry Wager Halleck, a United States Army officer, scholar, and lawyer, argued, no belligerent would be justifiable in destroying temples, tombs, statues, paintings, or other works of art. May he not seize and appropriate to his own use such works of genius and taste as belong to the hostile state, and are of a movable character. Quote. In July 1862, Francis Lieber, a professor at Columbia College, who had worked with Halleck on guidelines for guerrilla warfare, was asked by Halleck, now General-in-Chief of Armies of the Union, to develop a code of conduct for the armed forces. The Code of Conduct, published as General Orders No. 100 on April 24, 1863, signed by United States President Abraham Lincoln, later became known as the Lieber Code and specifically authorized the armies of the United States to plunder and loot the enemy, a mindset that Hitler's armies copied 1 century later. The Lieber Code said in Article 36, if such works of art, libraries, collections, or instruments belonging to a hostile nation or government can be removed without injury, the ruler of the conquering state or nation may order them to be seized and removed for the benefit of the said nation. The ultimate ownership is to be settled by the ensuing treaty of peace. Russian and American forces relied on similar frameworks when they plundered Germany after the defeat of the Nazis. The Lieber Code further defined the conditions of looting and the relationship between private plunder and booty and institutionalized looting. All captures and booty belong, according to the modern law of war, primarily to the government of the captor. Neither officers nor soldiers are allowed to make use of the position of power in the hostile country for private gain, not even for commercial transactions otherwise legitimate. And if large sums are found upon the persons of prisoners, or in the possession, they shall be taken from them, and the surplus, after providing for their own support, appropriated for the use of the army, under the direction of the commander, unless otherwise ordered by the government. Massive art looting occurred during World War II. See art theft during World War II.